in the end, Onward has crashed on me so many times that the team had to go ahead and start playing, and I just kind of had to abandon the plan and jump right in. So far it looks like Fodder was able to take the first round on Marsoc here with a kill out. 3 players left alive at the end of that. Hey, gentlemen, sorry about the delay. OBS kept crashing the game. Every time I'd get into your lobby, it just crashed it over and over and over again. Probably 25 times I was trying to get in. I don't know if you can hear me. If somebody would reply, I am here now. Everything's good to go. Just continue as you are. I didn't get a chance to do all the nice intro stuff I wanted because of all that trouble I had. Let's go in.
Right, let's get this one. Mid-market.
Mid-market.
Right,
I'm going to go to 2-story and do Overwatch. They always push someone to West Courtyard.
This is going to be a little primitive, guys. I'm just going to make sure that I get the game recorded for these 2 teams. They requested it a little bit last second. Viper was supposed to be running the main, and I came in late. So looks like they're going to send 1 guy over to the tank side to cross north over there. 1 guy's going to go to West Market, and 3 guys are going to cross right here up the middle. And they have to watch. There's 1 defender that's already in position to pick somebody off if they cross the street.
I think I saw one on the bazaar, left side of the bazaar.
Solo calling out that he may have potentially seen that player on the left side of bazaar.
Move over shortly.
I'm gonna just go proximity on voice comms for right now. This is gonna end up not being near as good as I wanted it to because of the delay and the problem with the Onward crashing repeatedly when I came in to spectate, probably 20 plus times. So I'm gonna have to report that in bugs. Looks like we have some shots fired over here on the East Street. Some grenade coming out from one of the Marsoc players, most likely. K's starting to get close up on this East Bazaar here, on the east end. He's going to be looking for a guy. He's going to be looking for Timmy up there in the 2nd floor, potentially through the window there. And you got the Marsoc player on the northeast edge is down. He was killed by a defender that's pretty far back over there. But you really got to have a guy over here though, because he's able to stop 2 long lanes of sight from just walking up unobstructed. So it's really important that you have a guy there. It's just also really important that that guy is very aware of the situation going on around the objective, because when you are that far away, obviously the objective is super vulnerable. You see Dobo and Timmy, both of them up here on the 2nd floor of the objective, which they have Hoochie down here watching the front side of the objective. So, it's not terrible, but those 2 guys are going to have to be able to read and react quickly if any kind of quick action goes down. That leaves you just far enough away for somebody to sneak in and get a cap really quickly after knocking down Hoochie, who is basically the last line of defense there. Kay's going to be looking up here into the 2nd floor. He's going to be see if he can get any picks. He's looking for Timmy. That's what they call, I think, the Killinger room. There's people up there always looking to try to get an advantage down on that East Bazaar. So it's a good idea to always double check that. Man, I haven't done a solo cast in a while, so my apologies. I got a couple other things. I just walked through the door, came home, told the guys that I'd record the game for them and cast it. had some plans on getting some other things set up, but I was just a little bit too late, and I didn't want to keep the boys waiting too long. Shots come out from K. He's firing at Hoochie, but is unable to secure the kill. Hoochie sends shots back at Gecko, but Gecko is able to sneak back into the room. Timmy now is going to know to look down there into that room. He took a look there and wasn't able to secure anything. Hoochie was then firing shots back towards southeast, which is Solo at the middle street there, and wasn't able to connect. And we have one more MARSOC player moving up now along the west block. They have a pretty good triangulation on the objective. I mean, Solo though really should be more this direction so he can see more of these doorways here, but you know, he's not in a bad location. These three MARSOC players here are doing a good job of staying spread out and making sure that the defense can't just hone in on them on one side. It's really important that you do that. That you basically, when you get down to your last few guys, that you're making sure you're triangulating on the objective. More shots coming out from Solo. Looks like he did see somebody finally move to that location that I had talked about. Put shots onto the second floor, but was unable to secure any kill there. Dobo's going to go ahead and back off, come back down to objective, and see what he can see. Obviously uncomfortable with that position. K is still here, and he is just now moving out at the wrong time. Hoochie is going to see him, takes him out immediately. Timmy or Hoochie took him out immediately. 2 MARSOC left. Now, Solo's taken the approach that I like. It's not something you see very often late in the game. Usually people expect for you to be all the way around on the north end or coming in on the side. Another MARSOC player, it's going to be Kev taking shots. He does secure one on the objective. I believe that's Dobo comes around the corner, takes out Kev, but Solo sends shots back towards objective, knocks another one, knocks 2, knocks 3, and just like that, Dobo is the only one left. Wow, that was some great shooting. See, that's why this position is so vital to secure, to have somebody here, anywhere here on this side back here, because those boys were not ready to be. Look at that. He just took down 3 to 4 players and clutched that round for the team. And it was all because of his positioning, because these players knew there was guys left and right, and this late they were not expecting someone to be able to catch them running from room to room. That's why it's important to find your spots and get down, or make sure that nobody's here along the South Street. My apologies, I'm trying to get some stuff cranked out into the Discord as well. I was ill prepared for this. All right, back to the action here then. Let's jump back over to it. Okay, so MARSOC is pushing up quick. It looks like they got the south central objective with the east side spawn. Potentially the east side spawn. Where is their 5th player? 1, 2, 3, 4. Timmy. Button gag. Okay. So it looks like they have 2 here in the middle and 3 on the left-hand side. So frag grenade coming out. That's a really tough frag to try to get. You know, there's the angle that the blast radius can go out would be very difficult to hit anybody back up in there. So I don't know if I'd have wasted my frag on that one. I probably would have used my frag through this window right here. If I carry 2 smokes on this map always though. So MARSOC playing it pretty slow here. You know, we've talked about meta a lot of times, and I don't have a co-caster to discuss this with, but you know, slow play, then fast play, then slow play, then fast play. I mean, the meta changes pretty frequently, and it really just, well, not all that frequently, maybe a few times throughout the game's life so far. But yeah, the strategic slow plays, they work really, really well until teams get really, really sunk into their defensive positions, kind of dug in, which makes it really, really difficult to play slow. So sometimes when you got guys that when you play against a team that tends to kind of dig in, not move around much, power plays, the fast plays can work really well because, see, the problem is here is that Marsoc is able to get 3 guys across the street. No one has engaged these guys. The defenders are in positions where they can best protect the objective, but they are not in a position to check the cutoff lanes. Basically, you gotta have a play. I mean, that player that was back there on the southeast corner, he was unable to do anything. I mean, he was back there, but was unable to see anybody or defend anything, essentially. And 3 Marsoc players are within 50 yards of the objective already. Only 1 Marsoc player is down. Timmy is just seeing what he can see. He's looking to get a pick. Dobo's gonna move up through the blue room. Shots have been fired, so Volk is totally aware. And yeah, you can hear Kev now kind of calling for a little bit of a formation. We'll see what happens. Synthorian is aware that there are players over there. He's throwing shots, not able to secure any of them. So Kev then decides to rush back onto the objective, going along the roadside as opposed to the back way, and pays dearly for that decision. Another Marsoc player has crossed and taken out another Volk player here in the 2-story next to the objective. And Synthorian is the only objective attacker left. He just takes out 1 though, and then a trade, but because there are 2 remaining players left for CF, and those guys are going, Cannon Fodder, excuse me, those guys are going to go ahead and take another round. So 2-1 so far, really, really slow plays. All right, so here we go. We're live into another round here, and I'm not going to take any time to. I haven't really had a lot of practice on the cams. I've been co-casting almost exclusively recently, so I'm not going to take a lot of time to start dinking around with my hotkeys and stuff like that. I'm just really not in the swing of it, and I want to make sure I don't miss a lot of action. I want these boys to be able to have a good VOD to watch. The quality will be a little low, but at the least they'll have something to watch. This is very last second. So anyway, K has already crossed the street and is nearing the objective. This is a smart idea to get a guy close. He'll be able to listen in for any players that are right here in the proximity, which will help assist any kind of west side push. He has looks like he has 2 Marsoc players. 2 Marsoc players looking up the west street, and they're going to be looking to see if they can pick off a defender through the little market that's there. And K is going to be using his advantage point to try to see if he can pick off. Now, a lot of players will use this window right here as a defensive location. I'm one of them. And so he's going to try to check through that window and see if he can find anybody to pick off. Volk is in some very interesting positions. I mean, they have 3 players north of the objective, which on the same block, which is very interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a team put 3 players north of the objective. I mean, essentially here you have 1 player watching the north street. You have Button, who the only thing he can really watch is this middle crossing right here. Neither of those 2 guys can see the objective. Dobo is also trying to protect this capture room right here. Essentially, this is the place players try to whip around into here and make a capture happen. Dobo is watching that, and they do have Timmy, of course, watching West Street. But you know, one or two decent smoke grenades snapped out of the game. One or two decent smoke grenades right here in this area. And that objective is basically free. I mean, as long as someone keeps Timmy's attention over here at the West Street. So we'll see what Marsoc decides to do. These players are playing very slow. They're very concerned that there's a player laid up in that wood somewhere in that West Market, and they're very concerned about getting picked off as soon as they open themselves up. But I mean, if we move over here, okay, now we have shots fired. That's K1 Gecko. He sounds like he might have spotted somebody over on the objective east block. He's gonna throw a smoke out. That's actually a Marsoc player that is further to the North Bazaar. I don't know if he's shooting at a player or if he's just cracking shots, but I'm not even gonna bother because I don't see a Volk player anywhere near him. We'll see what K decides. Okay, so there is a Volk player. He's in the second floor of, and it's Gag. Now he's taken out one, and he's gonna be looking to move up. He's gonna be looking to move up into this east side, which is a very precarious decision to be making. Very questionable. I mean, he has a he might catch this Marsoc player slipping right here. Yep, he hears him. They know that each other is there. There's action on the other side. K1 Gecko's near objective. I'll try to get back to it. Okay, so Gag wins that, and he's going to just return right back to objective. Now, he's got 2 down. That was very risky move. I mean, if he'd have been taken out, his teammates would have no idea, but he ends up securing the kills for his squad. Looks like K1 Gecko ended up dying right here on, across the street from the objective. And we have 2 more Marsoc players still making this push. And these are the last 2 guys left. These guys are just off pace with the rest of their players. They needed to be probably quite a bit further up. But they're a young team. And, they haven't been together long. And you'd expect pacing and things. I mean, my team's what I would consider a veteran team, and we still struggle with pacing a lot of times. And so pacing is very, very important that your guys are where you expect them to be at certain intervals in the round. All right, and so Gag, I believe that to be Gag, just went ahead and flanked and ended up taking out the other 2. So very, very risky moves by Gag. And, I mean, they paid off. I mean, he picked up 4 kills by himself that round, I do believe. So this next objective is going to be... This next this is the courtyard objective. This is a very, very interesting objective location because it can be taken from a couple angles. There's not a ton of cover if you want to take it, but you can get very close to the objective without the defense really knowing. As the rounds go on, you tend to see the defense tighten up on the objective and see them spread out a little bit early. But we'll see what kind of defensive front we see from our boys this time. We're going to go ahead and follow the... No, we're going to go back over to Marsoc. I have a tendency to follow Marsoc around. I just prefer to watch them attack than watch players sit statically all game. So, okay, so Marsoc is going to send 1 player across the street immediately, and then they're going to send 4 players to the east side. Gag is going to cut short through the blue room here. Now, he will find fire on his right-hand side as soon as he steps out of this room. All right, they're not seeing each other, just barely. Okay, so now the Volk player has thrown shots at Gag. He's aware of what's going on. Timmy's kind of falling back. Those 2 players are going to have to rethink their pathing. Button here may have an angle on one of these Volk players here pretty soon. He may be able to see that player. And it looks like he's not able to see that player, and he's now moved into a position where that player is out of sight. Maybe he'll see him. Oh, that was his chance. He just missed it. Just barely missed that. So now we're going to have an exchange over here on the east by the tank. We got 2 MARSOC players pushing up on the tank already, and one is a little bit further back, just kind of watching the corner, watching the blue room. Now, Synthorian, these guys are aware that there was a player there, and so we'll see how they decide to move up. We'll see if anybody gives any ground and how it transpires. Okay. All right, let me get back into this here. So it looks like, sorry about that. I'm just trying to do what I can to take care of some other things. Let me get this first-person cameras out of there. Sorry about that. Like I said, I've just been trying not to miss the action. I have been paying zero regard to the stream and the format of it and everything. I'm just trying to get the action here. Typically, I'm just a commentator, and I can deal with the cams fairly well. But okay, so Timmy and Synthorian are just playing chicken right here. Synthorian is talking out loud, so Timmy is fully aware of exactly where Synthorian is. Okay, so, and now Synthorian, I don't think is aware that Timmy is there because he has his eyes over on the left-hand side behind the tank. Timmy is just going to keep walking up, misses it. Oh my goodness, Timmy, you cannot shoot through this. Now, let me show you guys what I'm talking about. This right here cannot be shot through. It is transparent, but it is a solid hitbox, and you cannot shoot through it. So Timmy has essentially given, and now K1 Gecko is right behind. Timmy is about to die any second. He's moving now. K sees him, fires, and he's dead. So now we have the last remaining MARSOC player is making a push through the middle bazaar. That team fell apart over there on that southeast corner. It's a difficult place to try to make a hard push. As you come around that corner, you're just so open with no cover. You know, once you're past the tank, you have no cover left. So shot fired there from Button. He knocks down 1. He's got one more in the blue. Ooh, he knocks down 2. He's got 1 more coming up his flank. He has 2 guys on his backside. Let's see if he hears him coming. Button does hear it. He's about to die right now. Oh, picks up 3. Oh my God. Button is about to pull off a clutch, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I doomed him there. Oh man, so he picks up 3 before he ends up dying. Solo now is in an engagement. Oh no, excuse me. Is that round over? Why did I not get the indicator for round over? Ah, there it is. I didn't have the UI up. So yeah, after securing 3 kills and making a hard push onto the objective, he just was not able to finish it off. Ended up dying here in the citizen building, trying to push towards the objective. Basically, just traded with a player, and yeah, as a result, his team loses. But a very strong performance on that round by him individually. The rest of his team pretty much all died here in the East Bazaar, and it's, I mean, if you decide to cross up here like they did and move this way, once you have to breach out onto this corner here, you're gonna find a very difficult time. That's why I find it best to either cross back here and use the tank, some of this cover right here, to check these angles. And obviously, once you get down on the tank, you've just got a wonderful line of sight over the top of it with lots of cover. But if I'm going to cut it short, I'm going to be coming through here. I'm going to pitch a smoke in this general direction right here, block this whole thing off, and then try to sneak my way in through this little gap right here. So it looks like we're going to do the same objective, except this time the teams are obviously going to be reversed. And we'll go ahead and go over to MARSOC. It's like I mentioned, I love to follow MARSOC. I love to see formations. I love to see what teams do. It's so interesting to see the different dynamics on all these different squads. So it looks like we're going to see a really, really hard, fast rush push. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, all 5 Marsoc immediately rushing up into the 2-story North Bazaar. Uchi is down on the north side of them. He's going to be looking for Synthorian back there. I don't know if anybody has any angles. It's a heavy amount of pressure to put up on this part of the objective. They did lose one right off the bat because this window right here allows you to see all the way down here. Hoochie is now sneaking up. If Hoochie can make his way upstairs here, he is going to pick up several kills.
Revive me, please.
He hears it. He hears it. You hear a revive being asked for. K just gets destroyed. Hoochie snuck his way in there and took him out. Synthorian in Europe. Oh my goodness. Synthorian taken out from Middle Street, and Hoochie takes out the other one, which is going to be 2 to 3 kills for him now. And it is just not looking good. We have I believe it's a 5v1 situation, and that is going to be round over. 5v0. So the score now is 4-2. First round goes to Cannon Fodder. First game goes to Cannon Fodder. It's got to feel good to come out and kind of, you know, it was a semi-dominant performance. It was, I wouldn't say it was super one-sided, but it always feels good to come out right off the bat, get your, get your first win under your belt. Gives you kind of, it depends on how you react to it. I mean, you could get complacent and play poorly the next round, but if your team has a lot of resolve, and I think Cannon Fodder's team does, they've been playing quite a while, and they've taken some beatings over on the EU League, just kind of learning the ropes behind boss fight and beginners. So we'll see how they come into this next round. Let's see if we can pop in and see what kind of map we're going to get. It looks like they may not have gotten the map they wanted as a selection option, so I'm going to have to rejoin. So just bear with me for a minute while I do that. The UI is not letting me. The UI is not letting me escape. So I'm gonna have to close the game. Give me just a moment. I'll get right back in. Yeah, good rounds so far. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so we're getting back in. I'm going to let the game load. I'll be right back. Give me just a moment. Let's get into this next one. Hopefully they haven't started yet. But we should see. Hopefully it doesn't crash on me this time too. Oh my god. All right, so it looks like they've already went ahead and jumped into the next round. All right, so this is what we call the alley objective. And it looks like Volk has sent 3 players straight onto the objective, 2 players north, 1 player on East Hill taking shots onto the offense already. Marsoc is all sorts of bunched up at the north 2-story objective house, and they have 1 player in Crater still, and 1 player at the North Hotel. So, Marsoc committing 3 players to the same house That house does have a lot of lanes of sight, as you notice here. Basically, a player in the bottom floor is essentially invisible and can look as far over as the objective. 2 more players on the top side, just seeing what they can see. I mean, these boys are just trying to spot players and potentially get picks or intel. I mean, they are not in a hurry to get up to the objective at all. Which is not a problem. I mean, to each their own. Some teams play slow, some teams play fast. It's no secret my team plays fast, but we die fast sometimes too. So there's a lot of risk that comes with that kind of play. These guys don't look like they're the risking kind. So yeah, they're going to use their smokes to cross. I mean, they're being very cautious. They've given away their position by using that smoke, but it will allow them. Generally speaking, I won't throw the smoke until the first guy has ran across, because the first guy always makes it through the gap. It's usually the second or third guy that gets hit, because the eyes are then on that location after that. So I'm not sure what the plan is for the North Hotel player. Probably just intel. But we do have 3 Marsoc players. Looks like he's going to loop back around behind the white tower, and they're all going to take this West Street here. West Street is a great place for crawling up to the objectives. I mean, you can crawl essentially all the way up this West Street, and basically where the second floor is here is really the only spot that has really good observation over the crawlers that could be coming through. And even then, they have a rock wall. Now, I think Timmy may or may not have saw a crawler there. So by the time this guy gets to this white car to come around, I think Timmy's going to be having his eyes on that spot. And probably, matter of fact, why don't we, can we get in here? Can we get in? We cannot get in through the window. That is crazy. All right, so we're going to see. He might, you see him looking, he's peeking. I don't know if he knows he's there. I mean, he's got 3 players in front of him, but the nature of this spot is that it's tough to see into, but it's also difficult to see out of. As you see here, he's got that canopy, kind of canvas rooftop of sorts right next to him. Basically, it's a little cargo tent of sorts, and it's blocking a big part of his field of view. So he's not in. Okay, so now he does fire a couple shots, finally able to see one of the Marsoc players. There was 3, now there's 2. I don't know if he downed one. Was he able to down K? So K is not down. K is up. I don't know if Timmy was able to secure a different kill, possibly. But it looks like 2 of the defenders are already down. Or excuse me. Is that 2 of the No. That's 2 defenders that are down. Down, but revivable for one of them. I'm not understanding what's going on here. Am I looking at this funny? Marsoc is the team that is left with 3 players. My apologies, guys. I got a little bit confused. I didn't name the teams on there, and that's my fault for doing that. So let me try to get this straightened out. It's going to be Marsoc is attacking. That's going to be Soldiers of Bane. T2 is going to be... All right. There we go. We got those up. Now I won't be messing that up again. It's just when you're doing this on your own, there's so much to do, and if you do it frequently, it's not a big deal. So Marsoc, I think, is just down to 1 player left. Now, he has crawled completely past Timmy, and then gets killed by a Volk player at White House at the very last second. I mean, he crawled past Timmy and was getting close to the objective, but that's why you coordinate these types of things with your team. I guarantee you that the plan was to have a guy there watching for somebody to cross back here, which is a smart play, because at the end of the game, this is the one place you expect a Volk defender to be. the singular place you expect the player to be, because he can hear, he can spot people moving around, he can see anyone coming from the back. Most importantly, he's within earshot of the objective. This is another popular location to watch the objective from. Some players like to be right here. The trouble with this spot is that you cannot actually see up over this wall, so a player will come right through here and just crawl his way up to the objective and capture. So defense did a good job of stopping them there. Cannon Fodder looking sharp on downfall on their first full round. Looks like the boys are coming back in. Okay, so you can hear Kay and his team discussing what they want to do here. We'll see what kind of spawn. Okay, so this is what we call the short spawn. There's two short spawn. Well, actually, there's two short spawns, but this is the Marsoc short spawn, not the West Street short spawn. This is the South Hills. So one defender is immediately going to run up onto these rocks, and he is going to meet Yeah, okay, so he's running up onto the rocks. The player at White House is going to be a huge distraction. And Synthorian is making a bit of noise, but not much, and he does get picked off. Now, one Marsoc player has moved his way up into the hills back here, was watching for someone to try to push up on that side. And I mean, that was just perfect, because he was about to erase this attack from this angle. However, he was carrying a sniper rifle. Let's see if we can find his body. He was carrying a sniper. Yep, he was carrying a sniper rifle, so not a lot of firepower there. Just singular shot power. So this is interesting. They still have two guys up here, and the nature of having this spawn is the surprise. It's the shock and awe. It's the pouring over the top of this hill, getting to this corner right here, making sure that no one can get to the hotel or further out into the map, essentially, and then you just pinch the defenders in so that they have no choice but to stay on objective house and the house just to the east of it. So I'm not sure about this play from these guys. I mean, they came up, they played it slow, they got trapped. Two players they lost. They lost just the one player there. But their Marsoc player, who had swung around on the flank, was able to secure a vital kill on this Volk defender right here, who had been pushing his way up this way and was attempting to attack the Marsoc from the flank. So Volk still has a guy in White House. Now, I'm surprised that this guy up on top of the hill isn't getting looks his direction, but it's not that common that you have players go up into the area and use it. It's becoming more common now, and I expect within the next month or two, on this spawn versus this objective, it'll be very, very common to see people going up into that hill. This White House is an extremely important building to possess on defense and to secure on Marsoc. It's just, oh my goodness. Now he takes a shot as he was exiting the building through the window. Fantastic shot, but he knows exactly where he is and is making call outs, but has now been finally tapped all the rest of the way out. So the White House, like I said, it's very important to secure the kills in there when you're on offense, because now they know they have that player down in the hill, and that player on the hill, he's just going to come back down. I mean, I think they might have just had him go up there for the sole purpose of getting a good look into that building. It's going to take him a good 45 seconds to get into position, at least 45 seconds to get into position to make any other kind of plays. But here we are. We're down to, let's see, we got 1, 2, 3 Volk players left, 4 Marsoc. Now we have 2 Marsoc who've made their way all the way around the map, completely unnoticed, and are going to be making a push up the West Street. But and this player that's in Middle Hotel that should be watching for some of this. Okay, so a shot came out from Hoochie, or one of the two of them there, and that's going to give anybody that's paying. See, Solo did not hear that silent shot fired. He did not start looking around. So he did not hear it. Now see, these little peeks he's taken now would have been really helpful a while ago. But we'll see how they do. He's got these two players pushing up on him pretty good. One of them's charging on his building. Okay, he hears that. He's fully aware that there's a player there, but he also is making too much noise, and that player is going to hear him. But Hoochie is not even concerning himself with the player that's up above. I mean, he is just very simply using this bottom floor and just avoiding that player altogether. I'd be interested to see if Solo decides to come down and make a push. Solo does get shot from Ravine, or excuse me, from White House. Looks like that Marsoc player from the hill has finally moved up and was taking shots at Solo. Now this is a bad time for Solo to be taking shots because he does have Hoochie right below him, and Hoochie is just one quick sprint from being right on top of the objective. However, K1 Gecko is in the side black. This is what we call the objective black room. Very difficult to see players in here. The further away you get, the harder it is to see players through those holes. We're hoping that the lighting, the revamping of the lighting in this game will open up the opportunity for snipers and things to look into some of these windows and have a better sight picture. So shots coming out from Solo on top of the roof. Okay, so Hoochie pushed up onto the roof and Solo heard him coming and was able to take him out the instant that he breached the corner of the stairs. Suppressive fire coming out from Marsoc on the White Tower. He's trying to hit Solo, but he can't. Solo tosses out a flash. He thinks there might be somebody down there along the wall. He's right, there is, but he's looking in the wrong direction. Button now looks up and spots him and is just going to keep his sights aimed there until he's able to... Okay, so the player in the objective dark room, which is going to be K1 Gecko, he was able to get a line of sight on that, knocked him down immediately. Gag was caught trying to come out of the building there, and that round is going to go to Soldiers of Bane. Very well done on defense. This map is primarily a defensive map. When you have two evenly matched teams, you can pretty much always expect a player expect Volk. I got a little sidetracked reading some DMs. You can always expect Volk to pretty much take these when you have two evenly matched teams because you know, the types of movements that you have to make to get around this map are pretty substantial. You know, if you want to send it, like for their spawn there, I mean, it took nearly 4.5 minutes to get two players over to this side by having them trace all the way around that edge of the map and come back this way. So pacing is really, really important. They were kind of off pace there. Guys were pushing when other guys were still just trying to move up. And some guys were pushing on into contact, and you know, so they ended up losing a few guys here and there. You know, and then it just kind of dwindled down to a singular player who was then taken out. So looks like Marsoc is going to keep two players here in the spawn house. They're going to send two right up to Red Truck 2-story, which is a smart move because those players on objective will not... They just barely missed the player that went into the 1-story bungalow on the East Hill. Now this player is going to be able to make some devastating plays if they don't know that he's there, and they do not know that he is there. Let's go ahead and see who was able to make their way. I think it's Synthorian. Nope, it's Button. So Button UK is just in a fantastic place on defense. I don't know how the two Marsoc players did not see him pushing up into this building, but you know, he is there now, and he's going to have a fantastic view on anybody that tries to move up out of that Marsoc spawn. There's a really great job by him getting into position. He came around the corner, this left side of this building, recklessly and was open to this two Marsoc players seeing him. But in the end, he ended up getting by without anybody spotting him. Pardon me for a moment while I plug in my headphones. All right, so I got the headphones all plugged back in. First world problems, wireless struggles. So you still have two players here in the Red Truck 2-story. They have one player back on the heading towards the North Hotel. I mean, this guy is crawling from their spawn house to the North Hotel, but he could have made that run to that location completely uncontested right from the beginning. So I'm really confused about some of the plays that these guys are making. I get that they're trying to play slow, but I mean, leaving a guy in this house for all that time just to have him have to crawl over to the hotel. I mean, it just seems like a horrific waste of time to me. But they may have some kind of play or underlying strategy that I'm unaware of or have not seen yet, so I don't want to completely discredit this play that they're using here. I mean, Kev is probably their farthest advanced player. I mean, they've already lost K1 Gecko. I'm not sure where he dropped at. My guess, oh, I see. So Button was able to secure K1 Gecko while he tried to split from the Red Truck 2-story, moving towards the 2-story objective house, and Button was able to secure him. Button was not able to stop Kev from getting up on his right-hand side, but Kev doesn't really present much of a threat right now. I mean, he's still got 3 players right in front of him, and only 1 player really that's even past him in any kind of way. They are going to know right where he is, though, after he throws a few shots. I mean, Kev is going to know for sure. And you hear shots coming out from the west side now, and that's coming from the 2nd floor of the middle hotel.
Red truck, suck this red truck. North hotel.
More shots fired from Gag. It looks like they were able to secure another kill there. So we're just down to 2 MARSOC players left. They've gained 0 ground, essentially. They haven't moved more than 100 meters off of their spawn so far. I mean, when you're in this position and you're these 2 guys left, you know, the anxiety level's getting high, the heart rate's starting to beat fast, and you feel helpless. I mean, you feel like no matter what plays you make at this point, you will not be able to move up. Now you can see Volt getting extremely aggressive here. They're starting to send people up the West Street. You got this 1 Volt player who's just continued to wreak havoc from that forward position, and they never located him, pinned him down, suppressed him, pushed him. I mean, they didn't do anything. There was just no play of any kind. I heard almost no communication coming from these boys. So, you know, when these guys see the VOD, they're going to hear me say that. Please don't take offense. Just learn from it. I mean, you got to communicate. See, now, I mean, Volk they got 5 down on MARSOC, and they have 5 up still. I mean, they didn't lose a player. There wasn't a trade. I mean, they just completely dominated on defense there. And, you know, Soldiers of Bane, their offensive attacks need to be more coordinated. You know, I didn't see any smokes, I didn't hear any communication, and I mean, you know, Cannon Fodder is a team that's been around a while. You know, they played the likes of Beginners, Boss Fight, Lemons. I mean, they have good competition over there in the EU. So, you know, these guys have definitely progressed. And Soldier of Bane, though, filled with a bunch of, you know, essentially veteran players, you know, several hundred hours and more for pretty much everyone on their squad, I think. You know, it's still a fairly new team, and so we'll see how they do moving forward. But if Cannon Fodder can secure this match here, then they will have won the series, and then they'll just be playing for points essentially to you know, iron out how much MMR that they could potentially gain if they win this. So this is really important. So let's. You can hear a lot of communication coming out now from these guys. It was a mighty quiet round last round, and it just seems like... All right, shots being fired already. Neither one of the Volk players was taken down, but White House is also taking shots. Unable to secure anything with it, but letting MARSOC know that they have seen them. They are fully aware of where they are. So you're going to see the same type of play right here out of Uchi and the squad again. You're going to see him throw a smoke there, get across. Now, the player that's in the dark room up there, he was watching for that, and he was able to pick one off. But this camera is so slow. Synthorian and this player back here, they're going to be watching Ravine, and then the other player is going to be watching this gap right here. Europe is about to step up into this window that we were just talking about. And we'll see if he's able to... I mean, shots being fired from the black room at South Marsoc, or North Marsoc right now towards these Marsoc players. And it looks like there's still 4 up, though. So Marsoc not in terrible shape. They only lost the 1 off the initial exchange. And you can hear the shots just pouring out of the North Marsoc black room. Okay, so now Button gets engaged, and the player that's sitting on the objective in the black room, objective black room, he's fully aware these guys are here. He's notified his team that there's a push coming up West Street, that some of those guys survived, and that they're still pushing that way. Now, Gag's going to be responsible for trying to pick off that guy up there in the top window, and that's a tall order if you don't have a good scope. And he does have a 12x, though. All right, so you hear Gag there kind of doing a makeshift call out to his team, letting them know where he sees that guy. But White House is also aware that he's on this second floor, so he's in a bad way. If he comes around this corner to go downstairs, he might get clipped. He's got the guy. Okay, so he called out that he dropped one at White House, but he did not drop one at White House, so hopefully that misinformation doesn't screw the team over at any point in time. My work phone is going off. I'm going to leave this camera here for a moment and take care of something really briefly, and then I will be right back. All right, my apologies there. Just trying to manage several things at once. Let's get this straightened out. Here we go. All right, so there's going to be a new map selection here. Not sure who's home, who's away. Let me check the website. So it looks like for this match, yeah, so for this match, Cannon Fodder is the home team. So they would have made that first selection and then the last selection. But Cannon Fodder was able to secure the series victory with that. So, let me accept this challenge. Fantastic. Okay, so as far as I know, that's it. I mean, the series is over, but at this point, Soldiers of Bane are looking to preserve some MMR, you know, so to come out and get a 5-1 or a 5-0 or a 4-1 or 4-0 is really going to help them save some of the MMR that they could lose, seeing as how they have lost this match now. All right, so this is what we call the red car objective. Because it's on the red car. Now Volk is going to get very, very aggressive here. They're sending... Oh, excuse me. He went ahead and stopped. I thought he pulled back. I thought he was going to keep going. Marsoc sending 3 guys to the right, 1 guy to the left. I'm trying to figure out how... It's like I pressed a button to make my UI go away, now I can't make it come back. Every time I... So Timmy, he's going to be watching this fence here. He does have a guy behind the red car, and he is going to see that right now. Knocks him down with a beautiful headshot. So that's going to be a 4v5. Marsoc still... Well, Marsoc now gaining the advantage. Oh, excuse me. That's going to be a 5v3. 2 Volk players down. They had an aggressive Volk position here, trying to push up through to maybe try to get Peeker's advantage on him. Bad call as he died. And this red car is a position, I've said it once, I've said it a couple times even, and I'll continue to say it. This is a bad position on defense. This is not a good position to be in. You have nowhere to go with cover. I mean, if you crawled from here over, I suppose, but when you're on Volk, that's not the type of plays you should be needing to do. Marsoc tries to push around the house here, gets knocked down by a defender sitting right on objective front porch. But to go ahead and continue my point about this objective over here and that location, it's bad news all the way around. You're way out of position. You can't even see the objective itself. It's just no good. Synthorian in the old sickness spot here, and is he shooting while he's prone? No, it's not, is he? He's just shooting through the fence, seeing what he can do. Now this player's going to try to round the corner over here. We got more shots coming out. It's smoke and a heavy push coming from Marsoc up this west side. I mean, they are blasting furiously. Now they've knocked down the player they knocked down Kev, who was the player standing on the objective doing all the damage. So they really only have 1 player left now. Synthorian goes down, and that's it. I mean, just an extremely aggressive Marsoc push. You know, they smoked it and they came up the middle street. Most teams will come up this side here and push their way up with only 2 smokes on the end, but these guys actually smoked the street itself and pushed right up and through it. I mean, that was just fantastic. And that player sitting on the porch finally got knocked off, and that was the end of it. I mean, they just closed in. I cannot get my UI to come back. And why is this key on upside down? I had 1 key on my keyboard that was on upside down. I didn't even notice it until now. Alright, we're gonna get back into the game. I pressed enter there to enter the game, and it brought my screen up, so I'm not sure what is happening. Yeah, I can see. I press escape, and it brings this menu up, and it brings the rest of my UI up with the map and stuff. But I cannot bring those things up now. Not sure. It's probably user error. I'm almost certain of it. Anyway, Marsoc was pushing up super fast. They have 1 player near the middle house. He is laying super quiet. They have 2 in the middle, 1 on the left, 1 on the right, and now 1 pushing up into the middle house. He moves up the stairs, knocks down 1. Knocked down 2 in the middle house. That's K1 Gecko. A really aggressive move by him, and he knocks down 2 players in the middle house. Looks like 1 Marsoc is down with a grenade. Not sure if it was self-inflicted, but now Gag is coming up the flank because he hears the whimpers. And he has made some great plays. And he turns to fire at Europe, but Europe throws shots at him, knocks him down. It looks like it was a trade. They're both revivable. They're both radioing that out too. Synthorian now needs to he needs to move back over and pick up Europe. They have 2 of them revivable here. They need to stop Gag, or they need to Oh, excuse me. That's right. Gag's down. Why are they not picking up their other player? I mean, he has his map out. Here they go. K1 Gecko. Oh my goodness. Okay, so K1 Gecko finally motions to his player to go revive the other one, and as he runs out to do so, Synthorian shoots him in the back. That's going to be a total team kill too. Look, he just wastes his syringe. And you had better hope Synthorian has a syringe on him. But I think he was the one that picked up K, not K, but the other player that is now laying down dead. Does he have a syringe? He does. Okay, so this is good news for Marsoc. I mean, they're going to be able to pick another player up. This is going to put them back to 4v2. Gag, though, is going to be able to radio out anything he wants at this point. They're not double tapping him. He's going to now. Okay, so now Gag is completely out of the fight. Cannot be revived. Cannot relay information to his team. I mean, he's just gone. K1 Gecko is going to send shots to the tank, but Button is in a great position to just take cover. He's going to move out, move forward. He's just going to check because it can be taken from both sides. He's going to make sure no crawlers come up, no caps. So K is just out in the open, but these guys are closing in on him from all angles. He's going to come around the corner. He's going to see K. K is going to go, oh my god, he cannot hit K because he was, I believe his rifle was aimed down a little too low and he may have been hitting the tank. He had to move around into the open here to get the shots, and as he knocked him down, he took shots from the other player. Now that is why pacing is so important. You know, your guy that was closest to the objective gets down, but immediately a refrag comes out from the defense, and I mean, that's why it's so important to be on pace with your teammates. If you're not coordinating that now as a team, you need to start coordinating pace. It's super important. All right, so we're gonna have a rerun here. It's gonna be the same objective. And we're gonna have Marsoc. Let's see what type of formation they run here. Marsoc is gonna send 3 players. One player is gonna blast right through the lane 2 gap immediately. 3 players are gonna go lane 1, and 1 player has made his way to the middle hedge line already. So we're gonna have 4 players on this left side, which is the west side of the map. And there's 1 player, I believe he's the Volt player there, is behind the Hesco. And he's gonna have a great shot on anybody that tries to come around that corner if they're not staring intensely around the top and the edge of the Hesco. That player's not being that sneaky. He's using the pole though to kind of break up his silhouette a little bit. We got 2 smokes, 2 smokes coming out. Gag's trying to get a frag up, but I think he might have hit the bush. Oh, he did get it up and over, but it's not going to kill anybody. But he comes around the corner through the carport, knocks 1 down. Shots are coming out on the left side as well. Burning house. I don't know if they secured that one, but he goes down in the carport. But that player on the left side is completely out of the fight now. I can't, my UI's all fucked up, so I can't tell you how many players are left besides just counting it out loud, so if I make mistakes, bear with me. Timmy is using, I mean, this is a heavily traveled route right through here, but all of his main threats are out of the fight right now. He's gonna have this short little gap here, but he's got the smoke covering him, so I don't think that guy upstairs is gonna see him. But if that guy upstairs sees him, he's done right now. Nope, the guy upstairs was looking for somebody else and did not see Timmy. Well, if I were Timmy, I'd be moving up the left here and looking through those bushes for that top floor pick. But Button is over here near the middle house. I don't know. We do have another Volt player in middle house, so if Button makes a noise, he's going to be hurt immediately. Timmy goes prone. Shots come out from upstairs. I don't know if he thinks he got him or not, but he backed off and stopped firing. Ooh, and he gets the knockdown on Solo in the top floor, but does not get the kill, so it must have been his shoulder or his chest. However, Europe heard exactly where it came from. As long as Timmy doesn't get reckless after that kill, sometimes that overconfidence that gets you killed happens to me all the time. So he's going to use that smoke. Oh no, Europe spots him though as he's moving through, knocks him down. Europe's going to run back to save his teammate and gets downed and knocked out of the fight. So I believe this to be a 1v1 situation at this point. It's just Kev versus Button. I would love to go first person. I cannot get the UI to behave the way that I want it to. Scoreboard down. God, here we go. So it was user error in the end, and I got it figured out though. Oh, he makes the run across the gap, and just the player was watching there, and he picks up the kill, and that's, I mean, just like that. Just like that. Alright, so this one's going to be the garage objective. Now, let's go over and get a head start on the Marsoc spawn for when they fire this one up, and talk a little bit about this objective. It's a very difficult objective to guard. I should have set a camera over there so I could snap back over to that side. I won't do that now. And see, as soon as we come in, look how slow I'm going. My camera's so slow. I'm shifting as well. I should have shut my super sampling down and all that stuff, but like I said, in a hurry. So anyway, this objective is extremely difficult to guard. They're going to have one player standing on it, and one player guarding the front hedge in front of it. There's just a lot of places this can be taken from, where if you're not looking right at them, you know, basically they can cap from behind all sorts of cover, is what I'm getting at, and it's very difficult to defend that, especially as a solo defender. You have to just be running in circles. Gag is going to push up, and he made a little bit of noise there. K1 is going to hear that noise. You got two Marsoc pushing up the west, one still holding back, watching for any rushers. K1 Gecko is the most advanced Marsoc player, and he's just going to miss Gag here in the middle, not making a sound. He is going to make it inside this middle house, completely undetected by Gag. Now, shots come out from that player who was staying back there, and I mean, it ended up paying off. So, slow play. He was watching the correct angle at the right time, gets a kill. Shots come out from top floor. That's going to be a Volk player firing out a second floor middle house, and he secures a kill with that. But K1 Gecko inside that house, he's going to go for his play again. He's going to check to make sure he's clear, and then he's going to go upstairs, and he is going to kill these two players if he doesn't get killed first. But that's what he did last time. Let's see if we can do it again. More shots coming out from Timmy, though. I wonder if he secures another kill. He does not. Gecko gets killed from the guy on the second floor who looked this way at exactly the right time, takes him out. So, K1 Gecko, you are not going to repeat the double kill this time, my friend. Sorry about that. Sorry. Europe is Still pretty far back. I mean, there's a lot of angles to cover. And if you're a cautious player like Europe is, you know, you're going to be trying to check as many of them as you can. So it takes a while to get through the map when you play that way. Now, this player, Synthorian, is acting like he does not care about anybody on that top floor. I don't know. It doesn't look like we actually have any more Volk players in the second floor. It looks like that player is now retreated back behind the objective again. But there is still 2 players top floor middle house, and you know, one of them's probably watching left, one of them's probably watching right. So Synthorian's likely to get into an engagement here, but he is looking in the right direction. So he could potentially catch one with a headshot. He throws shots and picks off one with a headshot. He almost had the double kill. They almost lined up for him, but one player was able to duck his way out of the way there. I believe Timmy is a very lucky man. He was able to avoid the collateral. He throws shots back, though, and gets the refrag on him, knocks him down and out of the fight completely, and then Europe is killed and tapped out by a player back on objective. That's going to be Dobo on the west side fence at the spawn house. Kev, though, is moving slowly through the middle house. He's going to have to be careful here because Dobo can see the stairs. No, he cannot see the stairs, so Kev could potentially make his way up these stairs and kill the player upstairs, and if he does that, he stands a much better chance. Dobo, though, is not staying in one position. He is running back and forth, trying to get as many picks as he can and end this round here. Kev is moving up the stairs quietly. Is it going to be quiet enough? It is. No, the trade happens. Cannon Fodder wins the round, tying it up to 2-2, and they're hoping to take this 3 games to 0. But Soldiers of Bane doing a good job so far on Suburbia. This is a small map, and you know, so sometimes playing a team that may be better or worse than what you're used to doesn't really matter so much, because this map is just, it's so tight and close to quarters that if everybody's playing slow like these guys have been, it can, I mean, rounds can just go to anybody depending on where people are peaking at any given moment. So Dobo doing a really nice job there, going back and forth, picking up several kills on both sides of the spawn house. I mean, he was instrumental in that defensive stand there. So we got the red car objective again. And looks like Mark Stock's going to send 2 east, 3 west. Excuse me, 3 east, 2 west. Now this is kind of a typical thing to see. About 5 guys, pretty well spread out, moving up pretty carefully through the map. You know, you're not really going to see any action for about another 30 seconds or more, probably closer to a minute. What's really going to depend is over here, Timmy. See, now Hoochie is in a position where that guy at the fence can see him, and Timmy is moving up, just assuming no one is behind that fence. Now what's going to happen is the second Timmy comes into the field of view here, even prone, that player will see him and get him down. Depends. Arsenic has got me prone here behind this one a few times, but he's also 6 foot fucking 13, so he can see over the top of everything. Look at that. Player behind the fence not tall enough and completely unable to spot him here. I mean, he is right where he should be able to be seen, and he is just doing a fantastic job of staying low, not moving around too much. He's trying to see if anybody moves around back there. He's going to try to pick him off. Shots come out from a Volk player, though. Looks like we had 2 players pushing up the west side. Both of them are going to be down. One of them is completely out of the fight. Oh my god. Okay, so now we got more shots coming out, and I think that he finally secured that kill over there. I think he was just looking the wrong direction. When he turned back, he was able to see him. So now you know, heard it here first. Even prone, they can see you over the top of that fence. So we still have 3 conservative Marsoc players back here. We had one guy try to push up without any smoke, and he was down, paid the price for that. You don't try to cross this street without smoke unless it's endgame and you're sure that they're down at least 2 or 3 players. It's just not doable. So more shots coming out from Marsoc over there on that side, and they're sending him up to that Volt player on the northwest corner. He's going to fall back, though. He doesn't want to have anything to do with that. But now he knows that there's at least 2 players over there hearing the flurry of shots. Synthorian's just going to throw shots that way, suppressively, into the smoke, maybe onto the corner of the house over there. And it sounds like he's telling his teammate there that he's not sure that he got anybody. He was just throwing shots out. If I leave the UI up too long like that again, send me a DM or say something in chat. Alright, so a frag coming out from Button. He's hoping to secure anybody that was on that corner, but both players making a little bit of noise and now very suspicious. Button's going to win that kill, though, or excuse me, win that exchange. Synthorian throws shots back, though, and is unable to secure the kill. I think one Marsoc player has made it across to the northwest corner. I'm having frame rate problems really, really badly. Usually by the 3rd game, running all these programs and stuff, by the 3rd game or so, I should be doing a restart. It tends to have like some kind of leakage. Not memory though. It ends up running really hard on my graphics card for some reason. Or processor. Alright, so and then immediately you see now my camera is fine. As soon as the player is disconnected from the lobby, my camera is back to being fantastic again. So anyway, I'm not going to do a restart this late in the game. So the score now 3-2, and a cap here could make it 5-2, which would give them 7, 8, 9. I think that would give them a total of 9 points. So, to lose, 9-12, something like that, 9-14, or 13, 9-12, something like that. It's not going to hurt your MMR as bad. So, good job with these guys. You see this pretty often, though. It's not uncommon to see a team win 2, and then kind of loosen up a little bit for the 3rd match. Kind of let off the throttle a little. God, see how slow this is now? And how framey it is? It's obnoxious. I would have to restart it right now, and I don't want to miss this round because it's a match point round. So they're gonna send 2 guys right up the middle, 2 guys west, and they're gonna send 1 guy east. So K is already at the middle house. He's prone. He should have been heard by the Volt players, but they may not have been listening close enough. There were also Volt players walking around there, so I'm gonna be interested to see if he's able to get inside and make another play. Hoochie though is in this very popular spot here, kind of hanging out right here. He's looking through the bushes. He's using that K rail. He's looking across. He was able to pick up K because of that. We still have 1 player there in the middle and 1 player over on the east side, or that's the west side, excuse me. I keep getting that backwards because I am orientated from the Marsoc angle. So Synthorian gets knocked down. Hoochie's able to pick up his 2nd kill of the round, but shots come back towards him. Kev knows where he is. Hoochie's just going to keep watching this angle, except he's going to move up into the bushes. I think he's going to look for a flank here. But maybe he's just going to keep using bushes to cover himself. Solo and Kev are the only two players left. Solo is still on that west side, and he hasn't really gained much ground since his initial push. Hoochie's still watching that corner, but he's looking to move around and get an angle on it. That player's gonna, that player's Kevin. He's gonna go ahead and back off, but that may end up biting him here because Hoochie has taken up a new position. So Solo gets spotted by the guy on top floor, middle house, and he knocks him down and taps him all the way out. So Kev is really the last player left, and Cannon Fodder doing a nice job. Sorry about the camera, it's just it's dragging so slowly that I can barely make it not look choppy. Hoochie and Kev gonna get in a fight right here. Kev spots him first though and knocks him down without taking any shots back. You hear a lot of frags coming out from Timmy and Gag over there. 2 to 3 frags went off over there. 2 frags, I believe. And there's nobody over there. I mean, so Kev's got, you know, he's got 2 minutes and 56 seconds. He's got plenty of time, but I mean, he's up against 4 players, and it's a heavy feeling when you realize you're that guy. So, you know, we'll see if he can put his nerves aside and try to pick at least 1 or 2 off and get the odds down by about a minute, and you know, see if he can go 1v2 or something in the last minute. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see him get the cap or at least get the round. I'd like to see these guys grab a round out of here, you know. But it hasn't been landsliding either. Cannon Fodder has been slightly dominant, but it's been a pretty decent match. I mean, this guy's checking for a flanker. I mean, he's concerned that somebody's back here. As you can see, there's, you know, I open up the UI for you so you can see the map. There's, you know, there's nobody there. Oh, excuse me. I went to open up the map to check and see, and what do you know? There was a full player coming around. So, yeah, I guess I just totally missed that. But yeah, he was actually aware of a player that made a push into the back of the spawn there, and that player was able to come around and secure the round for his team. And I had totally missed it because I was all wrapped up trying to figure out how to find him on the map. But anyway, I thought I could open up a big map. I can, but only when the UI's up, huh? That's interesting. Why is this not letting me? There we go. And then immediately it goes to being choppy again. Yeah. Last time this happened, I just did a Steam VR reset and I was good to go. Gonna send 3 players into the middle house immediately. 1 over to the east side, west side, excuse me, east side. East? That's north, that's east, yep. And then 1 player back in the middle, excuse me, in the spawn house. Gag, I mean, they have pushed up quickly. They have 4 guys already past the midway point of the map, which is good news for them. If Kev decides to start peeking this window, though, Hoochie is going to be in trouble right away. He uses his tablet there, and Kev may have heard that. Dobo and Gag are both making a ton of noise at the back of this house. Oh my god, Gag with a beautiful grenade. He primes it and throws it in like he knew they were in there. May have seen him running around. Picks up a double kill with it. We had an exchange of fire over here that resulted in not a trade, but Synthorian getting a kill, and then the second floor player, Solo, was able to secure a kill on him. 3 Marsoc players are making a push at the APC. This is not something you see very often. I wonder how much success they're going to have with this. I would ask my co-caster to color commentate right then, but I do not have one. So they knocked down the player in the second floor window, which is absolutely important for them at this point for map control. 3 players down inside, and there's only really 1 old player left. And he is way out of position. Kills 1. Now these players are on the objective capping right now, and they got the cap. And so that's going to be a 16 to whatever win. Cannon Fodder is going to get 16 with the extra one there and the +3. So good games to these 2 teams. I really, really thought that Soldiers of Bane was going to be able to pull out that last one, kind of rooting for the underdog there at the end, but unable to, and Cannon Fodder gets the clean sweep. These teams are backing out of the lobby now, so thank you for coming to watch the stream, and if you're not following, make sure to follow, and if you got free subscriptions or something, toss them on there. Yeah, so great game, and I mean, it was hard fought. I mean, it was hard fought by the other team, but in the end, though, Cannon Fodder's experience and patient play and some aggressive moves paid off in the end, and they were able to make the clean sweep. So it was really well played by both teams. So yeah, thanks for coming, thanks for watching, and I would close out with some of the stuff, but I don't have any of it ready, so I am going to just get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. So anyways, enjoy the rest of your weekend, your Saturday afternoon, and we'll see you next time.